Hey everyone, Mike here with you guys once again. It has been so long since I've done a video because I caught another cold. Just when I was getting over my first one, which took me forever, and that started before Christmas, a second one came upon me and I'm still coughing. So I have technically been sick since before Christmas. 2 colds in a row, never fully recovered. Alright, now this is going to be an impressions video for 2 things. Number 1, this is going to be my first impressions video of the new escape reality downtown location, which specializes in virtual reality. That's right, Sarasota, Florida now has a VR-cade, and it's all run by HTC Vives. Not only that, but one of them is an HTC Vive Pro, so I throw that out there. The other, of course, will be in impressions of the HTC Vive itself, because I spent an hour playing different games. Some of the games I own and have played, and some of them I haven't, because I wanted a combination of new experiences as well as comparisons that I can make between the HTC Vive and my PlayStation VR. So, first of all, I'm going to start with the tutorial. The tutorial was very quick, very simple. It did not take me long to learn the Vive controls at all. It was very, very easy to pick up. They always looked confusing to me. But I picked them up in no time. Like, if you're used to the moves. The only thing about the Vives that are really different, in my opinion, are the grip, the way that it handles grip. It's much more immersive than it is on the PlayStation Move. And it might take a little bit of getting used to, but trust me, when you get used to it, you'll realize how immersive it is. The grip controls are quite immersive. What I was concerned at first because there was a party before I was able to start, and it was the volume of the party was overshadowing the volume for the tutorial, so I couldn't really quite hear as well. But once the tutorial ended and I started playing games, that completely went away. I was completely immersed audio-wise, and by the way, the audio is just as solid on the HTC Vive as it is on the PlayStation VR. First game I played was Star Wars Droid Factory, and I picked it because, first of all, Star Wars, but also I wanted something that would allow me to just play with the Vives, so that I know that I could play them, so I could use those controls. And it was a snap. That was a snap for me. So about a little bit of way through, I stopped and wanted to play something else. However, that's when I started having issues. That was when games wouldn't play. Like, I tried several different games and they wouldn't work. So what happened was, and this is credit to the people working there, they stopped my time, because you pay for a certain amount of time. I paid for an hour, and what they did was, because they were having to change stations so often, whenever that happened, my time would be put on pause so I wouldn't lose any VR time. That was a huge, huge compliment to the people working there and how they handled things not working right. Because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about everything working to perfection at a business. It's about how do you handle, part of it is how do you handle when things do go wrong? How do you make sure the customer is still happy? And they did a phenomenal job at that. Both the people that are working there. And I'm going to give them shout outs at the end of this video. So stick around. Let's see. So, and by the way, when I finally got to a working station, I was back to playing games. Trying out different games. I tried out Affected. Now, I have Affected the Manor on PSVR. It's absolutely terrifying. And what I noticed was different here, because it was room scale. Instead of turning with a button, I would just turn with my body. I would turn my body and it would lead me to where I needed to go. That was pretty awesome. A complaint that I have about the Vive is that red bar doesn't go away. The red bar is there to protect you in room scale, but it doesn't go away. and that can be a little bit of immersion breaking. On my PSVR, it's not an issue because the PSVR has no room tracking. Now, a lot of games I played, I don't think were really meant for room tracking. There was one game I played, I tried out Richie's Plank Experience. I actually got out of the tracking to get into the elevator, and it still kept going. So, here's that. What else did I try out? I tried out Super Hot. I knew it was going to be great on that system, and it was. I didn't play as much because the level seemed harder than the demo on the PSVR. Like, there was a section where I was like, there's no way I'm going to get past this. How am I going to get past this? They're going to shoot at me from above. I have nothing to do to knock them down. But that's just me not getting good at games. See what else did I play? Here's a fun fact. The guy tried to get me to play Beat Saber, but I didn't want to play it at the time. And when I moved stations, that was at the one station that didn't have Beat Saber. The one VR headset without Beat Saber. That's not really a complaint. That's just a funny observation I noted to myself. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else I played. I can think of one on the top of my back that I love, but I want to save that for the end because it was the last game I played. I tried VR chat, but I couldn't be a bunny, so I didn't bother to play anymore. Like, if I'm going to play VR chat, let me be a rabbit. Please, you bun. What else I tried to play? There was a dinosaur game that was there. I can't remember the name. It was something 359, but I didn't care for it because the controls were just... The way I had the controls just wasn't optimal. That's probably my fault, though. So what else did I play? I did Summer Funland, which I also own, just so that I could ride the water ride, the underwater adventure, which was my favorite part of that game. What I noticed was there was no jaggies at all. And the PSVR, there was often jaggies in games, here and there. More so in the PS4 than the Pro, but there was absolutely no jaggies when I played Summer Funland. And it was a nice little touch, but it's enough to make a difference. So if you want visual clarity is something that you're interested in, the Vive will give you that. Now, not every game has that. There are games that have the blurriness to it. Not the blurriness. I'm trying to think. The jaggies. There was like one game that had the jaggies, and it was a dinosaur game that I didn't like. But that goes away when you go towards something. It's only when something's far away. Okay, screw it. I don't want to waste time in this video, so I'm going to talk about one of my favorite experiences, and it was the last game I played, and that was Raw Data. I was not interested in Raw Data because I'm like bored with having so many like wave shooters. But the cool thing about Raw Data was it kind of had a super hot feel to it. Not only could I dual wield, which was fun, but I was able to, when you hit the slow motion button and you can see the bullets coming, it's exactly like Super Hot, which I thought was awesome. So yeah, I know I'm forgetting a bunch of games because I tried different things. One of the things I liked about the place was the advertisements. It was cool seeing advertisements for VR games that I enjoyed. It was like, cool, I'm seeing commercials for VR games here. That's awesome. And I also liked the nerdy conversations I had with the staff there. So that comes to a point where now I've got to give shout-outs. Because the two employees that were really there for me. One, I think his name was Justin. Sorry if I get your name wrong. I apologize, I only met you once. But I think his name was Justin. He was there when I first came. And he was helping me out. And so he was just, as we were waiting for the kids to be done, because there was a party right before, we were talking on Halo and nerdy stuff. And then when I was done, we were still talking nerdy stuff. The other person that I want to give a shout out to is someone I've known for a long time. Her name is Whitney. She just started there recently. And without her, I would not have found out about this place. And I love that we are living in that sci-fi era where you can go to a VR-cade. It's like I'm in a sci-fi movie. You know, the cyberpunk movies where they have these VR places? That's reality right now. So I guess this is where I'm going to go with this. This is not a full review. What I'm going to do is because this place still has not had its grand opening yet. It's still I kind of consider it in its beta stage. It's only had a soft opening. This is important because this is allowing them to fix whatever bugs they need to fix, and they are going to be on it. They are going to be on it. They told me that they will, and I completely believe them because the way they were handling things was fantastic. So I cannot wait to go back after the official opening and see everything finalized. That's going to be awesome. Hopefully we'll have everything resolved by then. Another thing that I mentioned to them was also to have fans, because not only will that make it more comfortable for people wearing headsets, it's also going to keep their headsets clean, and it's very, very important. I mentioned that to them. They said they have fans that they're going to be implementing that. So happy to hear that. Something else that I did not mention because I didn't think about it at the time was because there were children there, parents might want to be careful when it comes to a particular game I'm going to warn you about, Accounting or Accounting Plus, depending on which version you have. They have a version of Accounting on there. If you've played Accounting, the language on there is beyond rated R. It's very much Adult Swim-like. It's done by Justin Roiland. Fantastic game for adults, but if you're a parent and you're taking your kids there and they want to try Accounting Plus, just be aware there's a lot of bad language in it. One thing I would suggest for the place is to have the ratings available for the parents to look at when they bring their kids, because that's going to be very important. It's obvious that the horror games are going to have a certain level of blood and gore. It's going to be very intense, but you expect that. Like, you expect that from a zombie game and all that. But something like Accounting Plus, which is animated, parents might not be familiar with Justin Roiland, and if their kid plays it. And the thing is you don't really hear what's being played outside the headset. You see it, but you don't hear it. So parents, just be aware. When you go there and your kid wants to play Accounting Plus or Accounting, keep in mind, it's very raunchy, very, very much has a ton of F-bombs. And just know that before going in. If you're fine with it, it's cool with me. I don't care. And for adults, I highly recommend it. So I think it would be a good idea to implement ESRB ratings next to each game that you have. That way parents can know in advance what their kids are getting into. The people there are knowledgeable, so I'm pretty sure if a parent asks about stuff like that, they're going to answer all their questions. And also, the cool thing about having VR, a place for VR, is that you have people that work there. And if you haven't played VR yet, they're going to know. Not only are they going to know what you should start with in terms of avoiding motion sickness and getting your VR legs. There's a list of games for first-time VR users that they have, and that is so important. And it's fantastic that they have that list there. Overall, I was very pleased with this place, despite the bugs that they're going to work out. It's a phenomenal place. As for HTC Vive, there are things I liked about it and I didn't. I don't think it's going to be... There are things about it that are better than PSVR, but there are still things that I prefer that I like better about the PSVR. So it's not... If you have a PSVR, you're not getting a lesser version, you're just getting a different version. But still, at the bottom line is this, and this is why supporting this place is important. If you have never tried VR, and for years you were able to afford getting a VR headset, but you weren't sure if you wanted to spend the money on it, because even the cheapest models, what if you get it and you play the wrong game and you get motion sickness, or you just don't like it? You would have spent so much money, invested so much money on something you would not like it. Now, I was lucky. I took a chance, and it paid off for me. But it's not paying off. It doesn't pay off for everybody. This place will let you know whether or not VR is for you. It's the perfect place to try it out. So I highly recommend anyone who has not tried VR and you live in the Sarasota area, you need to check this place out. Try this, go to this place, see if you like it. and then make the decision whether or not you want to buy a headset of your own. And for me, I'm looking forward to going back, because one of the things I loved about it was the fact that I was able to hang out with people and talk about nerdy things. That's appealing to me. And if VR is a passion that you have, not only will you have great games, you're going to have great people to talk about those experiences with. And that's phenomenal. So once again, shout outs to Justin, shout outs to Whitney. Support these people. Support this place. You love VR. Check it out. I will do a final review once I've been back after the grand opening. Hopefully I can attend the grand opening. It's going to have like cosplay and stuff. Sounds like it's going to be awesome. But anyways, that's all I got for now. I will see you in a future video, and hopefully I will finally not be sick. But at this point, I highly doubt it. Bye, everybody.